My little baby. This is my extra kitty. She came to us one day when my sister was visiting from Montana. I guess somebody had just dropped her off. She has another sibling, and I think somebody else down the street took her in. She's my extra kitty because I did not want her. I did not need another cat. I already had 3 cats at home. But, well, my sister and I kept seeing her out on the front porch, and it's like, oh man, I can't let her stay outside. But I just kept resisting her. Till one day I found her hanging by her claws on my front door. Her face was peeking up over the edge of the door where the glass starts, so I could just see her little nose pressed up against the glass and her paws hanging by her paws, I mean to say. So cute, so sad. And that was the moment. If you can picture a hang ten, how they show these cats hanging on by their claws. That's what she was doing on my front door. So cute. My sister was so happy. I decided to bring her in and make her a part of the family. Unfortunately, that just wasn't the best decision after all, because one of my cats ran away. My oldest. My oldest cat's name was Billy. Billie Holiday. She just couldn't handle having so many cats in the house because she had been the only one for a little while. So in a way, Extra, my beautiful little girl, my sweet babies. Ooh, excuse me. While you scratch yourself. She became a replacement kitty, and so I've had some mixed feelings sometimes. She is beautiful though, isn't she? She loves to be pet. Loves to be pet. But she's not much of a lap cat. Unless you have a blanket spread out all over your lap, maybe, and you feel like a bed. Which I do sometimes, sitting there watching TV. But it's hard to get a film of her actually peeing a lap cat. But she's so receptive to petting. She loves to be pet. Pretty feisty too. I'd say she's about 2.5 years old. 3, maybe more like 3 years old in human years. Baby kitty, so cute. So cute. She actually doesn't really like for me to stop petting her because, well, she's a bottomless pit, let's put it that way. Kitty, kitty, kitty. So precious. So precious. So now I'm down to 2 cats. I've lost so many cats. 2 of them have gotten, one ran away, and 2 of my kitties have been run over by a car in the last 5 years since they've been here in this little podunk town in Tennessee. I've had 5 cats since I moved here 5 years ago, and 2 have gotten run over by a car, and one of them ran away. All that happened after my mom passed away, and boy, talk about feeling like a punch in the gut. But in the long run, it's my cats that comfort me. Baby kitty, so cute. Love you, kitty, kitty, kitty. Love you, kitty, kitty. You're my baby girl. You're my baby girl. Such a sweet baby girl. Such a sweet baby girl. I love my extra kitty. I love my extra kitty. Such a good girl. Such a good girl. She's so precious. Isn't she precious? So here's a story. Once, before we moved to this little town, we lived in a bigger city, and I had 2 cats. My husband already had them actually before we got married 10 years ago. And 2 beautiful, fluffy, black cats, siblings. And those, I guess they were probably about 2, 3 months old. I don't know, but they were still kittens. And they, one day they were outdoor kitties. And one day they ran away. Or we thought that they had run away. But they just disappeared. I mean, just like overnight, gone. And we put, posters up all over town and all the normal rigmarole you do to try to locate a missing kitty. And Oh man, every night I kept hearing cats crying like they were trapped in a hole somewhere or under the house or stuck. I was like having terrible dreams and daydreams actually, thinking I heard them crying, and it was torturous, so torturous. But gone they were. I had to accept it, and so I realized after about 4 months that I was going to accept that they were gone. So cute, she's so cute, extra. I love you, baby girls. So we went ahead and got a new kitty. The other cats' names, the two fluffy black cats, were Duke and Ellington. My husband is a musician, so he named his two black cats Duke Ellington. Duke and Ellington. So cute. Love those kitties. So, in keeping with that theme, after they were gone, I went and got another kitten we named her Billie Holiday. So, she got to be maybe a month old, I guess, and it was shortly before I was supposed to go to work, and I was sitting by the railroad. There was a railroad right behind our house, and so I was sitting actually on the railroad tracks. Silly me. I know, I was sitting on the railroad tracks because they're so close to home, and I was sitting there thinking about my cats, and a woman drives by, sees me looking kind of maybe sad. I don't know. I don't know if I felt sad at the moment, but anyway, she stops her car and says, "Excuse me, do you live in that house right over there?" She pointed. It's like, "Yeah, that's me." "Well," she says, "I think I have your cats." "You do?" I said. "Oh my God, really?" And so we talked a few minutes more, and I said, "Yeah, I did. I lost some kittens." She said, "Well, I have them." She further explained that she was actually doing me a favor by taking my two kittens in because it was winter and she had seen them playing near the railroad tracks. She thought she was doing the cats a service or me a service or somebody. I didn't know it was me necessarily. I don't think. But she took my two cats and adopted them at that time. Of course, I was a bundle of mixed emotions because I thought, how dare you take my cats? Especially if you suspected that they might belong to me. And then my other half was so glad they were still alive. But she brought them over to my house. She had them in a cat carrier. I was trying to get to work, so we had to kind of do this quickly. My husband had gotten home, and she brought the cats in to the house. That was a request of hers because she felt so like the cats belonged to her now, and she was so worried that they were actually going to a good home. Oh man, I was so insulted. I really did not know how to respond to this. My anger was growing because I thought, yeah, okay, so you're gonna come check out my home and see if it's good enough for my cats. Oh my. Put yourself in my shoes for a sec, and think. Well, anyway, she brought them in and she says, "Oh, by the way, these are their new names. Something or other." I don't have any idea what anymore what she named them, but they were some exotic names. Of course, everybody thinks their cats' names are exotic or original, but I couldn't relate. I was going, no way am I going to call my cats, Duke and Ellington, some other names just because they've been with you for a while. Anyway, I hardly recognized them. They were full grown, gorgeous, black, fluffy, just gorgeous. Kitty's so cute. So cute. I love that she's so feisty. Extra plays a lot. Okay, so anyway, the woman that returned our cats expected some kind of gratefulness and a thank you, and I think in the moment I may have said thank you just because I was grateful to have them back. I was. So, but I didn't get, I had to go to work and I didn't have any chance to spend any time with Extra. I mean, not Extra, but Duke and Ellington before I had to go to work. Thankfully, my husband was home and he could be with them, but we had to keep them in the house for a while and make sure they adjusted. Well, the one cat, I mean, they both remembered us, and thankfully they were not strange, or she had taken relatively good care of them. The saddest thing was that one cat had just become so disoriented that it ran away, never to be seen again. I don't know if it went back to her or if it was Duke of the pair. It was Duke that ran away, the bigger, more bold and Kitty. They look like twins, except Duke was bigger, but he ran away. Very sad. So then I was left with Billie Holiday and Ellington. Later on, I found out that the lady who had taken my cats was sort of like what you call your crazy cat lady. Whether she was crazy or not, I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, not officially. But she had like 100 cats in her house, and it was filthy. And I mean, recently I found out that that house was condemned and torn down, and so I guess I'm thankful that I got my cats back away from her. She and I exchanged some words via some emails, and I expressed my negative feelings to her, and she basically said, "How dare you? I took care of your cats because you neglected them by letting them play on the railroad tracks and let them out while it was cold." It's like, oh my gosh, everyone has a different way of raising their kitties. Some think you're supposed to have a cat indoors only. Some people say that it's cruel and inhumane not to let them play outside and hunt because that's their nature. To each his own. But to actually have somebody steal your cats away from you knowingly because they don't think that you're raising your cats the right way, I don't know. That's quite a controversial subject. It took me quite a while to work up some forgiveness for her. But I did. But not without dubbing her the crazy cat lady. I'm a cat lady, but I don't think I'm a crazy cat lady. I couldn't have too many cats in the house at one time. 4 is the most I've ever had, like I said, when Extra came along. And she was just that. Silly, crazy little Extra kitty. I love you so much, baby girls. Love you so much, little baby girls. I see you. My little lovely one. My baby girls. Such a sweet thing. So feisty. She's so feisty. Oh, you're so feisty. Gonna lick me to death, huh? My feisty little girl. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I throw at her. She'll chase it. She thinks she's a dog. Oops, excuse me while I go look at my behind. Such a sweet kitty. I think the name of this kind of cat is, it's not calico, what is it? I'll think of it. She is a particular breed. She's so beautiful, isn't she? Baby girls, oh my baby girls, you're so sweet. Little extra kitty. Oh, my little extra kitty, so sweet. I love you, my baby girls. I love you, my baby girls. Such a sweet kitty. Such a sweet baby girls. She's tall. She don't show us your butt. Put your butt down. Yeah, what I noticed is she's just really tall. Long legs. Tortoise shell, that's the name of this kind of cat. I just thought of it. One day Extra was, well, she likes to fend off the other stray cats that come into her property like most cats tend to do. And, they have a kitty door so she can go in and out anytime she wants. And they spend a good deal of time both indoors and outdoors and bringing me all kinds of fun stuff. I've had mice, lizards, and birds, and even the tiny baby rabbit I rescued once. And these guys just love to hunt. And I'm the kind of person who believes that they should be able to do that. So, anyway, one day she was faithfully guarding the door, and all of a sudden I heard this, just like big cat fight. And it's like, oh no. I mean, this was the worst I had ever heard, so I went running outside. There was her sibling, the other cat that had been dropped off at the same time as her. I never saw that other kitty. I just know that whoever, I mean, it's just too much of a coincidence that an identical cat, size, shape, everything, lives way down the street to the right, at someone else's house. I mean, they could have been twins. I saw them fighting, and I couldn't tell who was who. And the fact that it was so heated, it was like practically life and death. And I thought, why would she react so strongly to this particular cat as opposed to any other one that she's ever tried to scare off or fight with or anything? I think they realized they were kind of looking at their doppelganger, It's like, oh my God, this cat is me. But anyway, they just, oh boy, what a cat fight. Boy, what a cat fight. Tried to break it up, and eventually I did. But the other cat eventually ran off, and it's like, whoa, I never seen anything like that before. They hated each other's guts, and had they been raised together, they wouldn't have. But these guys sensed competition for sure. So since then, I have visited the other kitty. I mean, those guys, they're so identical. If you set them side by side, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. I mean, you'd have to stare for a while. Yeah, so sometimes when I was walking the dog, I'd go down to the end of the other street and see the cat that looks just like Extra, and it's very friendly, just like she is. I mean, acted the same way, received petting the same way. I mean, really, it could fool me. I wouldn't know who was who, except for this cat has been made an outdoor cat completely, this other one. And it looked, I mean, it kind of has a little bit more of a mangy look and a little less well taken care of. Whoever took that cat in didn't literally take them in, they just feeding them, and he or she has a place to be. I guess Extra doesn't know how lucky she is. Baby girl is so sweet. Because she has the reign of the neighborhood if she wants, or come in or out, well fed. The only thing she has to put up with is her sister Etta. Etta James, by the way. The other cat is named Etta James. This is the only cat we've had that... no, that's not true. We had another cat named Ellison. We kind of stuck with names that began with an E. For some reason, I don't know. So we have Etta James and Extra and Allison is one that got ran over. Anyway, extra kitty. This is my extra kitty. She's my baby girl. Sweet baby girls. Sweet baby girls. I love my extra kitty. Love my extra kitty. I think most cats are prone to take care of themselves and keep themselves clean. It's much easier for a cat that's allowed to be indoors to stay clean. Her sibling down the street has some trouble with their eye, like she's got an eye infection or something, or who knows how many fleas and that kind of thing, but I give extra her flea medication and she takes really good care of herself. She's very clean. Very beautiful. Little baby